For the next few episodes, we're going to catch up with the athletes of NYBB Blue and take you through the summer of 2013, from the pro to the O, as we review the struggles and the triumphs of a life in bodybuilding. On a quiet Sunday morning in Merrick, Long Island, while most people are having a cup of coffee or reading the newspaper, powerlifters would rather be in a crowded, noisy, sweaty gym, challenging themselves and each other. In episode 3 of NYBB Blue, we saw how IFBB pro bodybuilder Ben White was taking a year off to work on his powerlifting technique, in the hopes that it will help him reboot and rebuild once he returns to bodybuilding. Later, while visiting a local hardcore gym with our cameras, Ben got into a war of words with Casey and Evan, two of the dedicated Albany strength regulars.
This is my challenge, not you.
You're never gonna
I gotta overlook you. People that can't become bodybuilders do powerlifting because their lower half don't match their upper half. Hard work, hard work.
We are amateur lifters here. We take a proud of this. Every day we're busting our balls.
That's what we
when
live
you
for.
come
this
here and
right
you
now,
tell,
yeah, we live for
then
this.
you're gonna come and beat us. Would you think I'm gonna stay in the back and say no? You're gonna come in once a year and gonna beat me?
Yeah, I'm gonna beat you.
And see, and that's the point.
Rock was missing for 10 years.
There you go. And that's the thing. I'm not gonna let you talk, and I'm not gonna let you beat me.
Powerlifters are a special breed who enjoy testing their strength as well as their endurance for pain. They thrive on the intense atmosphere.
It's an environment that you don't get. You don't get this fire anywhere else. I haven't experienced it yet. Accomplishing a task that you set out to accomplish in one single lift is a feeling, it's an experience that is just unattainable in anything else.
It's a very tough sport. There is no rewards at all. You don't get paid. There is no contracts. It's a really amateur sport, and you have to love it. You go home, you are beat up. You get up out of the bed, your whole body hurts. So you need to love this sport. You need to love this sport to come and do it week by week by week, to be good at it.
KC is a Czech-born lifter now residing in Albany, New York, who takes his chosen sport very seriously. He's here today to compete alongside his good friend, Evan Mensing. Ben's half-joking insult has only fueled Casey and Evan's determination to be at their best in August, when the Albany strength lifting meet is scheduled to occur.
We aren't professional bodybuilders and we aren't professional powerlifters, yet we still come to the gym, we still bust our butts every single day. We try to do the best that we can possibly do and then some, just for free, just for fun, because we love it, because we love everything about it. We love the challenge. We love everything that goes into it.
And Ben comes to us, tell us that he's stronger and better than us. It's really upset me, because we know what we're doing and how hard we're training. And he just don't have it. You don't come to my gym where we train so hard and make this comment. He was never champion. He tried it before. He got beat in competition. He never beat anyone in a three-way competition and never will. Let's make this clear, he never will.
Casey's been there for me from day one, and he's the best training partner I've ever had. And he's got so much heart and so much intensity in it, and he puts that into everything and everybody else. And for Ben to write him off and act like he's insignificant, that's offensive to him, to me, and to everybody else in our group, because Casey's the heart of our group. If you ever go to a powerlifting meet, whether you know the guy next to you or not, they're going to support you during your lift, and it's the best feeling in the world. You got a room full of hundreds of guys, and they all want you to do well.
Ben White may not have been aware of the intense camaraderie among powerlifters. It's not like pro wrestling or hockey. Insults and challenges like those he made at Albany Strength are considered a breach of etiquette in the culture of this sport. As a powerlifter once said to me, I don't want to beat my rival on a bad day, I want to beat him on his best day, so I want him to do his best. Surrounded by friends and rivals, all cheering him on, Evan's last lift of the day was an attempt at an RPS world record and a personal best, an 805-pound deadlift.
I did train with Ben for probably 6 months. He's the biggest baby to lift as a powerlifting. Everybody feels that his bodybuilding career, it's a gift, and he's not taking it serious.
I have the most respect for him as a professional bodybuilder. I am not a professional bodybuilder, and he did it in, I think, under 2 years. And that's a pretty awesome feat. But as a powerlifter, it's a different story to talk and actually come through.
I don't think he's even gonna show up. Once again, it was a big mouth of Ben White. And if he comes and he shows up, let's get it on. Number 3 in the world. Number 3 in the world, Evan Manson.
Jon De La Rosa has passed on his chance to be in the Olympia for this year and is instead devoting his energies to his fiance Swann and to Victor Martinez, both of whom will be competing at that contest in Las Vegas. This selfless role is necessary, Jon knows. Sometimes our own dreams and goals need to take a back seat so that we can support the success of those we love. During this time, Jon sees himself as a cheerleader, constantly reminding Swann and Vic that their most fearsome enemy is themselves.
I'm very family oriented, and I love my friends. You know, I keep people that are close to me very close. You know, and I consider them family, and you know, I truly care about them and love them and want them to be their best. And I'd hope that they want the same for me. So, you know, whenever any of us are having issues, or you know, in the gym, outside the gym, whatever it is, you know, I want them to know that they can come to me just like I know I can go to them and help them break those plateaus, again, whether it's in the gym, outside of the gym, whatever it is.
Although that's not to say that Jon has given up on himself entirely, far from it. At the New York Pro this year, Jon improved from last year's 4th place finish by placing 3rd. At the Toronto Pro a few weeks later, he grabbed 3rd place once again. Slowly fighting his way up in the ranks since turning pro, De La Rosa knows that the key to his further success and the #1 placings that he desires is mass.
When you get off stage and the first thing you hear is, you gotta be bigger. It's like, oh man. So it becomes an obsession, because now you're thinking about your food, you're thinking about your training, you're thinking about resting. You know, I have to make sure I get my naps in. And so every time that I step into the gym now, I'm thinking I gotta get bigger. I gotta give this workout my all, because next time I step on stage, I wanna be able to display my gains.
Jon simply needs to be bigger to win shows, and this off-season for him is all about making that bodybuilding goal come to fruition, while at the same time seeing his friends and loved ones succeed. What's so good about Power Pack pudding? Could it be the 30 grams of quality protein? Could it be the convenience? Could it be that it's sugar-free, lactose-free, and gluten-free? Could it be the taste? The answer is all of the above. The proof is in the pudding, MHP's Power Pack pudding. Helping people succeed is also why I'm here in Saratoga Springs watching Ben White begin his day at 5 o'clock in the morning. We have a 30-minute drive to Spartan Fitness and then spend the next 4 or 5 hours training clients. The success of his clients is very important to Ben.
And come back up, and then come back down, I'm doing successful over there. I got 5 or 6 clients, 3 to 5 times a week. I'm training them. They're dedicated. They're loyal. I love working with them because, I mean, they are what I display and what I talk about. If you sit there and look at my clients, they're a reflection of me. If they're not a reflection of me, I'm not going to train you because you are what I represent. I'm trying to get clients. I want my business to grow and grow and grow. You don't need a whole lot of equipment. You need functional training, as I displayed today, to get people in shape. It's about gaining weight. It's never about losing weight. It's a lifestyle. It's not a diet. When you train somebody, I'm not training you to be like the next person in the magazine. I'm training you to be the best you.
Obviously, Ben gets much satisfaction from helping people transform their lives. But as he sees it, this part of his life is also very much a necessity for him. A common misconception among amateur bodybuilders is that turning pro is like winning the lottery. Although it is easier to get sponsorships as a pro, those sponsors are by no means guaranteed. And even when they are sponsored, most professional bodybuilders maintain some kind of day job to supplement their income. Smart bodybuilders know they must maintain a life beyond bodybuilding. For Ben White, and for many of the athletes, it's personal training that helps pay the bills. For Jon De La Rosa, it's an ambitious enterprise he calls the Nutrition Locker. Today is the grand opening, and as usual in this close-knit community, friends and family have turned out to celebrate and help with the crowds. But the birth of a store like this is not without its difficulties. Right from the beginning, the store got off to a rocky start when a copyright holder sued Jon over the name he had picked for this long-awaited venture. A trashed sign, hundreds of useless flyers, and thousands of dollars later, the store was renamed. But such is the nature of getting a business up and running. Statistically, 1/3 of new businesses fail within the first 2 years, and about 56% of businesses fail within 5 years. Don't let the smile on Jon's face fool you. This is serious stuff. Jon's future, and the future of his soon-to-be wife Swann Cardot, deeply depends on this little storefront turning a profit.
A lot of the people think that because you're with somebody, signed under a company, that you start off and you have all this money and, you know, unfortunately it's not true. There's only a select few people that have that opportunity to really flourish and, you know, be able to do all the things that they want to do.
It's crazy fucking.
We don't all get into it when we're 16 years old, don't have bills, you know, and this is the only thing we can do. Most of us have rent to pay, food to buy, you know, people to take care of, and the sport is not cheap.
I think it's very important for him because he's looking for more of an outlet outside of bodybuilding. You know, bodybuilding's only a part of who he is, and he wants to use it as a leapfrog into something else. He wants to at least get a steady stream of income. You know, this is his dream come true, and, you know, I'm part of it. Part of his dreams are coming into reality. It's a good thing to see your son, you know, see his dreams come into fruition.
The business is putting us under a little bit more stress because, like I said, we're not making money from it right now. Everything that the business does make is being reinvested back into the business in hopes that, you know, it continues to grow. So I think that added stress on top of having to pay for the expenses of the wedding, and, you know, I'm fortunate in a lot of ways to have Swann because she's a minimalist like me. She doesn't need, you know, a huge extravagant wedding. So I say this, I may be jumping the gun here, but as far as I know, it's not anything extravagant.
After finishing training his clients, Ben White returns home for a meal and a little inspiration before tackling the second half of his day.
So he gave you the same spiritual father so that Paul could intercede, because love will always intercede.
At Feral CrossFit, Noah Milstein is continuing to help Ben perfect his lifting technique.
So you're just getting more efficient. You're increasing your neuromuscular innervation, and you have all this locked up fascia, so it's kind of like your muscles are playing gassy, brakey, like you have anti-lock brakes on all the time. So you're trying to push and they're trying to brake because you don't have efficient contractions. So as you become more mobile, not necessarily flexible, but more mobile, where the sliding surfaces under your skin can move more effectively against each other. You're able to produce more force more efficiently in a coordinated fashion.
Noah's approach is, as always, well thought out and very scientific. Whether or not it will yield the results on the bodybuilding stage that Ben desires remains to be seen next year. But there is a more pressing question. Will Ben be prepared to go up against Evan and KC in August, just one short month from now? I asked Ben if he thinks he will be ready.
As I was sitting there getting prepped and everything else, and I wanted my mother, my kids, and everybody else to be a part of what I was doing. So I haven't seen my mother in like 15 years. Son, about 5 years, daughter about 5 years, and sister about 6, 7 years too. So everybody ended up coming up at one time, and as we came up here and we started talking and going back and forth, I spent less time in the gym and more time around them because it was not trying to make up for the past, but it was enjoying the company and seeing what I was going to do as far as a professional athlete and as a father moving forward. I thought that getting my relationship back with my family and my kids was more important than even training. So that's what I did. And it ended up being 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks they'll stand, and it ended up being 2 months. So I wasn't able to get ready for the competition, nor do I even regret trying to even get ready for it. And that's that.
For Ben, it was a matter of priorities. But of course, as you might expect, his no-show at the Albany Strength Competition was not received well by Evan and KC. Evan had to skip the contest in order to get gallbladder surgery. But KC, despite a pulled abdominal muscle, was able to deadlift 700 pounds and win his class.
There was a challenge thrown at me, and I couldn't refuse. So I showed up at the day, and of course, Ben White didn't, like always. Yeah! If you throw all these comments and don't come through, you're nobody. And he shook my hand, and he said, if I beat him, he never going to do bodybuilding, right? He didn't show up, so I beat him. So he should be down right now. He should, pretty much, he should never show up at this gym, open up his mouth. Stay where you are and don't come back.
You call somebody out, you gotta follow through with it. KC followed through on his end, you know. I pulled my numbers. Let's see his numbers.
Since I wasn't there, it'll be another contest coming up in the near future, and we'll compete.
As Ben and Jon and many other pros know, there has to be a life beyond bodybuilding. For Jon and Swann, it is the store which is their best bet to help create a life for themselves and their children. For Ben, it is his personal training which provides the backdrop against which his reunited family will flourish. But always in the back of their minds are the demands of 2014 and the next bodybuilding season. Jon's next goal is the New York Pro, which he is hoping to win by displaying a much larger and more refined physique. And Ben has his sights set on the Olympia, but first needs to return to bodybuilding training and then win a qualifying show.